Am I the asshole for publicly shaming my sister at an annual society event? So yeah, I know how this sounds, but I am taking a lot shit from my family about this and need someone to judge the following from an unbiased point of view. My sister is 4 years younger than me but does not act like it. I am 17 while she is 13. She treats me like shit inside as well as outside the house. I think this is because I have a neuromuscular disorder and am confined to a wheelchair most of the time and require quite a lot of attention. This was obviously resented by my sis who loves attention. She makes passive-aggressive remarks about me not being able to get up and about the house. Honestly, I could keep my cool and did not confront her about her remarks. So basically my society has an annual talent show type event where any member could participate. As I liked the art of cardistry, I agreed to participate. My sis was the compare, like the person who would introduce the participants and lighten up the mood in general by usually cracking a few jokes. My last straw was when she directed these jokes at me. She joked about me being an attention seeker and a bunch of other of my insecurities. One of them was about my fear of cats. I do like them, but from a distance. This was because I had been scratched multiple times by a stray cat. This was when she thought would be a good time to bring it up, and I quote, "I still don't understand how you are so afraid of cats. You are supposed to be the family dog." Yes, she actually called me a dog. I think the more appropriate translatory word would be a cur. After this particular remark, I lost my cool. There are usually mics circulated around in the audience to create funny on-the-spot awkward situations. Someone passed it to me. She was waiting for my response knowing full well that I would not make one. Imagine her horror when I held the mic up to my mouth and said, "Huh, funny coming from a pig like you." She was shocked to say the least and my family members were appalled, but the entire audience burst out laughing. I can't help but feel guilty for what I have done, and my parents are not doing anything to make it better. Instead they are trying to make me feel more guilty. They said that I should be ashamed of my actions, and the way they put it, I can't help but feel terrible about myself. Please fellow Redditors, judge my actions and let me know if I am in the wrong or not. Edit 1. Typos. Edit 2. Thanks for the Platinum and Silver Awards, kind strangers.
Not the asshole. Don't chat shit if you can't take a hit.
Not the asshole, get out of the kitchen if you can't take the heat. Do not apologize.
How can your parents let this happen? Doesn't she get reprimanded for the things she says? What you said wasn't nice, as you well know, but called for. I'd say and that your family could benefit from therapy.
Your parents are the real asshole here.
Not the asshole, your sister is very obviously in need of therapy, and your parents as well if they think her behavior is acceptable. I think that you never would have even said what you said if this problem had been worked out beforehand, and what you did was mild. You did the right thing defending yourself publicly, because when she speaks to you like that publicly, she makes everyone else think it's okay to speak to you like that.
Everyone sucks here. I'm not going to judge too harshly because you're both literal children. I remember being a teenager. Is there a chance your sister feels like your parents give you way more attention than she gets and this is her way of acting out? Even if that isn't necessarily true, maybe that's how it feels to her. Teenager emotions are complicated. I'm not saying it's right, but maybe you should put yourself in her position and think about it.
Not the asshole, don't deal it out if you can take it. Also, she overstepped way over the line.
And this whole sub needs a course on nonviolent communication. She's 13, why would you let your little sister, a whole child, disrespect you and then you stooping at her level like you are 13 too? I mean, people on this sub being all an eye for an eye are immature, and so are everyone involved. Talk to her. Don't diss her, humiliate her, hurt her. It's just going to reinforce whatever complexes she has versus you. Sit down with your sister and talk about how her attitudes makes you feel, and ask her about her feelings as well, and why does she feel the need to berate you. You both acted immaturely, but I am sympathetic to your position. Y'all could really benefit with some therapy, and I mean all of you, including your parents, who really need to learn how to mediate between the both of you.
Not the asshole. You really warmed up the crowd. That your parents expected you to take these insults and not respond makes them the Oz. You should tell them that nothing about your sister's behavior is actually funny, and they need to talk to her about it. Edit. Spelling. Voting with a gentle because in that moment your words played a part in embarrassing her and we have control over how we react. However, the other 95% of the time, she is the sole ah.
I have a lot of sympathy for your situation and the disorder that you have to go through every day. However, as a person who was abandoned by parents because they chose other children over me in many ways, I emphasize so much with your sister. Shush is 13 and I'm sure for years she has seen the difference in treatment, assuming your parents make your disorder a big deal as they should, but not give the same amount of attention to her. She is kinda an asshole but more she needs therapy. You calling her a pig and humiliating her only makes the resentment grow. I understand you're upset and why you did so, but you are the older one. You both need some mental help from someone without a bias from family.
Are these not the asshole people kidding me? You called a 13-year-old a pig. Public or not, you're absolutely an asshole. Your sister is 13 and a response calling her a pig is acting like a 13-year-old as well. The way to deal with someone treating you like this is to have a conversations with her and your parents. Making a remark like this is only going to make the situation worse. I understand you have a disability and that's hard, especially not getting support from your family, but lashing out is not the answer.
Not the asshole. Your parents shouldn't have let it get that far, and there is a difference between being funny and a bully. Your sister is a bully.
You're both being immature, but it sounds like your sister resents you because of the amount of attention you get from your parents and acts out because of it. You just kinda brush it off, but it's hard having a sibling with a disability. Your parents tell you they love you just as much, but they don't show it because they have a disabled kid to look after and that takes up more of their time. Your disability isn't your fault at all, but I can understand why your sister is the way she is because of it.
Not the asshole. Your parents need to educate your sister on why making fun of disabled people isn't okay.
Sounds fake as fuck.
I'd say given the circumstances, not the asshole. Was it a nice comment? No, but she honestly was asking for it. Where was an adult in charge of the show? They should have put a stop to that immediately. If your parents keep demanding that you apologize, ask them why your sister doesn't need to apologize for telling personal information and calling you a dog in front of the audience.
Not the asshole. Your sister is cruel and without sense, common or not. Hugs, from my wheelchair to yours. I would perhaps been a bit more sharp with my reply myself.
Bored attention seekers need to stop posting BS.
But not because you stood up for yourself against a bully. Good for you. Keep it up. What makes this an everyone sucks situation is the fact that your sister is acting out for being ignored a lot by your parents so they can look after you. That is in no way your fault, of course, and is entirely the responsibility of your parents, but you acknowledge this is the case and yet you do not seem to care. You and your sister should be blasting your parents for their negligence, not each other. And, of course, this makes your parents assholes, too. Seriously, maybe you should suggest family and individual counseling to fix this mess before it's too damn late and bridges are completely burned. Yes, it doesn't seem like this idea has crossed anyone's mind, so I'm leaving it with you.
Info. If you have a fear of cats, why did she joke about your fear of dogs?
No, it's unpopular, but those were both more than poking fun. Yes, I think her remark was worse and she clearly needs therapy as everyone has said, but that doesn't mean yours wasn't shitty too. Also, she's 13, and I know tons of people who were horribly bigoted in 7th grade because they were trying to fit in with the environment around them and now clearly regret it. So you absolutely had the right to be upset here, but please realize how much you can influence her. If my sister hadn't been so amazing, I probably would have stayed the asshole I was at 13. Take care.
It sounds like your sister was supposed to make fun of people to make funny, on-the-spot awkward situations. Yes, it probably was immature to respond with name-calling, but she should have warned you, too, so I'm going with
though I'm not judging either of you too harshly. Reminds me of that post where the op asked for advice in reconciling with his disabled older brother. I hope you two are able to build a better relationship one day, or otherwise at least get out of each other's hair. This situation is understandable but not productive.
Everyone sucks here. What she said and did is completely unacceptable. That said, so was your response. You both took shots at each other in a public setting, which isn't the time and place for this stuff.
Your teenage siblings. Shit like this happens. But your parents are definitely the root of the problem here. She probably doesn't get the attention she craves, and here's a hot take. Some people have personalities that require more attention than other personalities. I grew with a neurodivergent older sister who hated attention, but needed it. I, on the other hand, love attention, but I never really needed attention. That set us up for a lot of fights, and name-calling. I resented the fuck out of her. I couldn't understand why she got so much attention and she didn't even want it. I was a kid. My parents should have done better for the both of us. Everyone sucks here because both of you acted so immature at a public event.
NTA. What the heck? If she's gonna say shit like that, she deserves to have it come right back.
Info. Did your parents say anything about your sister calling you a dog?
Everyone sucks here, but wear clapping hands medium light skin tone. The clapping hands medium light skin tone. Fuck clapping hands medium light skin tone. A clapping hands medium light skin tone. Your clapping hands medium light skin tone. Parents clapping hands medium light skin tone. They should not be allowing your sister to constantly bully and demean you inside or outside of the home. Your parents are the biggest R's here by far. They need to deal with your sister's anger and resentment, and you should not have to put up with her bullying, period.
I get that your sister is a shithead, but she is 13 and obviously needs therapy. You, on the other hand, are old enough to know better. Don't sink to her level or she is never going to stop, she will just resent you more. I am disabled too, use a wheelchair or walker, and 2 of my siblings act the same way. They make shitty remarks and are rude, and my parents don't call them out or take care of it. It frustrates me, and most of the time I don't say anything, but especially not in front of a large group of people.
She shouldn't have made fun of you. Obviously. But you shouldn't have called her a pig either. You are almost an adult and she is still 13, you shouldn't stoop to her level. What she said was wrong, but 2 wrongs don't make a right. Your parents suck the most for allowing this behavior.
Everyone sucks here. You both sound like assholes who don't like each other. Maybe you two and your parents should all be in therapy together.
Your parents shouldn't condone this type of repeated behavior, your sister shouldn't be mean and say those things, and you shouldn't stoop down to her level. Your whole family could probably benefit from some group therapy, to sort out unresolved resentment and foster better communication between each other.
0/5 assholes. Your parents are emotionally neglecting you. They're playing favorites by allowing this behavior from your sister. I once read this short story called Raymond's Run, about a girl whose older brother, the titular Raymond, was mentally disabled. At one point, she recalls a time he got his shirt and pant cuffs soaked in the rain and her mother whipped her for not watching out for him doing that because despite him being older, she's more capable than he to listen to Mama when she says, "Keep your clothes dry." It's a parent's job to combat a sibling's bullying of another sibling. This is like DW always winning over Arthur. Except your parents are worse than David and Nora because Arthur doesn't have a neuromuscular condition like you do.
Info. What was your parents' response to your sister's actions?
But you to a much lesser degree. I 100% support what you did, and sometimes you have to be tar. This is one of those times.
Everyone sucks here. She sounds like a brat. But she's 13. Obviously she's provoked you, but you're almost an adult. Both assholes here.
Not the asshole. Yes, name-calling on both of your parts is pretty immature, but I don't think it rises to the level of asshole. Your sister's other behavior though sounds like it does. On a side note, I have never heard of cardistry, so looked it up and now can't stop watching videos. Thanks a lot, now I will get no work done today lol.
Talk shit, get hit.
You have a disability and more attention goes to you in the family. Her reaction to seek attention is normal. You all need a few lessons in tact and good manners. Therapy would be nice for the whole family.
Not the asshole. Don't dish it if you can't handle it happening to you. Retort back up every time she insults you. Your parents may say that since you are older you should show more restraint, but that is BS. They just know it's easier to make you shut up than for them to discipline your sis. LMAO, who let a 13-year-old MC this thing?
So are your parents just letting her call you a dog? Really? Do they know how badly she treats you?
Both of y'all sound immature as hell, to be honest.
Maybe you should talk to your parents and sisters instead of being passive-aggressive. I don't think you are in the wrong here. Actually call on your parents' double standards, but you should tell them and your sister how you feel and how you don't like being treated like that. Also don't apologize.
Not the asshole, but your parents are assholes for being mad at you and not her.
All siblings squabble and say mean things, especially when they are teenagers. I'm surprised that the adults, including your parents, let you two rip into each other at public event. No one should take sides, instead maybe someone should have intervened. I hope that you and your sister can work things out.